Sam Logue here for irishboxing.com. Delighted to be joined by Luke Keeler.
Yeah.
Making the comeback, Luke. It's great to see you back in the ring. Obviously, yes, September 16th in the RDS. You've been out of the ring for about 3 odd years now?
3.5, yeah.
Well, obviously we'll go into a few things, but how does it feel? You're just out of quite a few rounds of sparring there. I'm not exactly sure how many, but
yeah, we done 6 with Paul Ryan and Shane O'Connell. It went well. So
how's it feel to be
back?
back?
Week full time with the lads. So I was tipping away in and out for a couple of weeks before that. Talk of the show in Lucan originally. And just getting on, I'm delighted to be honest. It's good, do you know what I mean? Because I was just not training. It's not good for the head, like just eating bad foods and all. So it's good to be back in a routine. And like I said, I was offered this fight, and I said I'll take it one at a time and see how I feel in training. But yeah, I am going well, so I will go again after this. You know.
Yeah. You must be excited to be back. Obviously, your last one was for the WBO World Middleweight title against Demetrius Andrade. Obviously, it's a bit of a step back down, but you've had a break out of the ring. What are your feelings, kind of going in and making your comeback? Like, yeah, what are your feelings?
Yeah, well, look, do you know what? It's weird. I don't feel any pressure or. I'm performing well already in sparring. A couple of weeks out, it's a journeyman fight, and then I'll need another couple of months training to get up to the level, you know, where I was, probably 6 months to be honest. So there's no real pressure. It's not going to be a particularly hard fight, and I'm just kind of taking it one at a time. But I am loving it again.
Yeah. Which
I didn't know. Like, I left for 3 years. I didn't know whether I would have the spark again, and would have the interest, or would have the ability again. Even like you have all these doubts, and you think you're going to get clattered around, but the lads are flat out 3 years, and I'm competing with them. Had a good Emma Brennan came down yesterday and we done 6 rounds, and I'm going well. Like, so it's good. It's good to be back.
Deadly. Have you noticed much of a? I'm sure you've noticed some of it, but have you noticed much of a kind of level differential between kind of how you were operating when you were active and the last time you fought to now? Like, how much of a difference in your ability is there, and how much kind of ground is there to cover again?
Yeah, like I said, we just peaked there. It'll be probably 4 or 5 months of full-time training to get back to that level, but I think I'll even be, like, I'm at slowing things down. My hand positions are better. Like, having a bit of a break is actually maybe probably the not quickness of feet and stuff makes me have my defence a bit better. So I'm tidying up my hands positioning, tidying things up. So like, I'm actually getting around to the way of feeling that like I could improve. Like, I could come back even better. Like, I never would have said that. I was kind of saying, one fight at a time, try to go out one Irish title fight and go out on a one Irish fight and go out on a high.
Yeah.
But coming back and seeing the way I am, and a lot more clear in my head, and seeing things, like, I think I could improve slightly even, you know?
Yeah.
Even with the 3 years out. So, that's now, you know?
Yeah, but I understand it, because it's, I think with more experience and more time, and it's not like you've completely left the game. Like, I know that you took a bit of a break, but you've been training over the last few months, and you've still been in and around the gym, and I think when you're still watching and you're still observing, you're still practicing a bit, you're learning, like, cognitively you're getting better at the sport, do you know what I mean? You're learning more about, like you said, hand position and when to move, instead of just, you know, being quick and being sharp or whatever. So I think actually there's a lot of opportunity to improve your actual ability. So that makes a lot of sense to me, what you're talking about. What are the goals for you now? Because obviously you had your shot at the world title. It was an extremely difficult fight, you know, against a champion who nobody has been able to beat.
Yeah.
But what's left for you now? Like you were saying, you were kind of alluded to it there a little bit, but you were talking about kind of take it one by one, but you feel like actually your level, you have a lot of chance to get better now. Where do you see yourself going? Do you want another crack at the world title? Do you want to make a few quid? Do you want some big Irish matchups? Like, what is it that you're actually seeking now with this comeback?
Yeah, I'll be honest, and what I said when I was coming back, have a fight, and maybe I get an Irish fight like Jason Quigley, and then go out on a high. But as I'm training, and I'm only training 3 weeks full time, I'm actually allowing myself to think further on from that, you know. So you never know, I could get a crack at a world title again. The couple of Irish lads won the IBO world titles. that Golovkin relinquished, so it could happen. McElhaney Promotions aren't stopping with just this show with Conlon, obviously, but they're going again. They're going again, at least 2 more shows with a show in Lucan is the plan. So the way I'm looking now and the way I'm feeling, I'd love to get the likes of an IBO world title on that show, say next summer. That's where I'm thinking now, because I'm performing and because I think I can improve. But when I came back, I'll be honest, I said I'll get fit, I'll try to go out on a high and then jack it in.
Yeah.
Like it's a hard sport, isn't it? I was enjoying myself a couple of years on, so I was kind of tipping away, and then I was getting bored. And like the manner of the defeat with Andrade, I didn't want to go out with like thinking I could have had another little shot. So I went back to kind of get that out of my system. But with McElhaney Promotions running these couple of shows, there's a plan in place that I could possibly go for the likes of that.
Yeah, and this show coming up in the RDS is a big event. Like a lot of big names on it, a lot of big like local talent on it. Obviously, Tyrone McKenna fighting for the IBO welterweight title. Like it's a big occasion, and that must give you a lot of drive as well, right? Coming back and being able to go not onto some tiny small hall show, but like onto a relatively big stage again, and kind of go, yeah, this is what I do it for. This is what I like. Is that a big motivation for you?
Yeah, like I boxed in Belfast and then my last fight in America, so we didn't have Dublin shows. It's amazing having Dublin shows. I remember the couple of shows I had in the stadium that Cherry Orchard Boxing Club came down and supported you. That's the buzz that I love, you know, out to support family, friends. So having that in Dublin again is going to be great. There's loads of interest, which was surprising coming back, the level of interest, because it was just gone for 3 years, forgotten about, just it was that fella. But there is great interest, so yeah, that buzz, I love the buzz of just fighting. I'll get a couple of fights and push on.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's touch a little bit on that name that you mentioned, Jason Quigley. That's a fight that's been talked about for a long time now, actually, for a good few years, when it was kind of the likes of you, Spike, Jason, and then you kind of had Kevin Ajarko coming up as well, and these were all kind of in and around middleweight.
And that,
yeah, Conrad as well, but who you obviously boxed twice. But is Jason like a really realistic name now that you would like to target? You know, somebody who obviously has slowed down a little bit, obviously still fought in a very big fight against Edgar Berlanga in his last fight and did really well. A lot of people were very, very pleased with his performance. But is that the kind of matchup that you would like now? And it's an all-Irish, it's a tidy matchup, it's kind of 2 nice guys who are well able, you know what I mean? There's a lot of interesting elements to it. Is that something that would interest you? And would you really push for that?
I did. I asked for a couple of times, and I'm sure he'd take it. Like he's the same, but I don't know his position. He had that good fight, so he's still like thereabouts. I'm only coming back. We're on a good performance now in September, and why not? Like why not? If there's a slot on that card at the end of November, is it? Like why not have the 2 of us on it? Like I don't know how full that card is or who's on it, whether it's a possibility, but like it could go well, like, you know.
I'm sure that's the kind of matchup that would kind of blunder its way into that kind of card, because it's happen. 2 big names.
You know what, boxing is mad. Like someone could get injured, like they have their own fighters that they're signed, like Gary or Yarko. They could be injured. There could be slots in him, or 2 Irish fighters that will sell tickets. Will sell tickets in Dublin. He'll bring a crowd. Like it's a fight. Like touch wood, it could happen. Like it's one that takes straight away, you know.
Absolutely. How do you think a fight between you and Jason goes?
A good fight. Like he beat me in the amateurs. He beat me twice in the amateurs, which is like it's a different sport. So it's a fight that I fancy. Like I'm asking for it. Like it's a fight that I fancy. It's a fight that like get you up for things, like get you to put the 2 hard sessions in a day, get you away from your family, and gets that focus and forward again. So it's one that I obviously feel like I'm winning, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I want, but it's the way it lands. Boxing's funny. Could get a bit of luck. People get luck and get called for fights. Could happen for that K card.
Yeah. One thing that popped into my head, and you'll have to excuse me for this one, but I'm remembering back to when you had your bit of a spat with Conor McGregor. This is actually the first time I ever interviewed you, which is a pleasure, by the way. About fucking time. But what was that like, actually? And I'm going to segue into a different question, but what was that experience like? Because obviously he's a extremely
Massive
big name,
name,
like,
yeah.
and you know that would have been, you would have fancied yourself there in a boxing match against Conor McGregor, anywhere around middleweight at the time when it happened a few years back. What was that experience like, and did you experience any kind of increase in like following, or kind of was that like great exposure for your name, or talk to me about that experience?
Yeah, it was huge, like following and exposure, and it was all over media and stuff like that. It was probably something that like I threw it out there, like, I don't know, in the hope, you know, of a fight, a payday, but it did get a lot of exposure. I could have rambled and talked about it, but it was like, I was obviously getting ready for a world title fight. I kind of had to put it to the back of my mind, but it was something that I threw out there, and I gathered steam, you know, that kind of way. So
Yeah.
do you know for a payday? I knew him from he boxed with Crumlin, yeah. So I knew of him. Like, we didn't have much dealings with him, but I knew him. I knew him. Called me up, a bit of a roaring match.
Really? Yeah, you had a phone call.
Yeah, a lot of bollocks, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? Like,
He didn't take it well, no.
He was angry, yeah. He didn't take it well. But that's life, isn't it? Like, it's just. He was doing amazing at the time. He's kind of falling back, just calling people out like he needs to just train and get back himself, you know, that kind of way. I was on my way up world, like getting to world level, and just called for a payday, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
But it is one of those things.
Is it something that would interest you now? Because actually, ironically, I think it's something that could be a lot more realistic now in a lot of ways.
I don't know. I have to come back. Like, maybe like a world title shot at IBO, maybe. It's just a payday, you know. Like, it's boxing. Like, he's not doing. I don't think he's doing a whole lot. But probably the same as well. I haven't done a whole lot. So you never know. I might get a payday out of it.
Maybe, and I suppose at the end of the day, that's what you're kind of all in it for, to at least to some degree, when some to a larger degree. You know, you want to get paid, especially when you're operating at the highest level. I'm interested to know, like, what is your, I think I know what it is, but what's your highlight of your career so far? Like, if there was a moment that you kind of would like to replicate the feeling of, you know, in terms of achievement, you know, the level of fighter that you won against, or whatever it may be, who would you say, what was your kind of highest highlight so far?
Two probably nights that stick out were the first Conrad one and then Arias, because he was at world level. Probably in terms of boxing, Arias beating him well because he was at world level and got the world ranking and got a world title fight. But in terms of like how I felt was the first Conrad, because I left my job, had a draw with a journeyman. I was kind of, and it's only like when you leave boxing that you think about these things. Like, at the time when I was training, it didn't even dawn on me, but the build up to that, I left my job, trained, only joined up with P, was the underdog. But in terms of just relief, and like, I'm doing something in boxing. Like, I know I won an Irish title or whatever, but winning a European title on that stage was the best probably feeling. Arias probably in boxing terms, best win. But in terms of how I felt, I was nearly emotional, do you know, that kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, it was a special night. Second one, good win. Not kind of expected, even though people thought I was like lucky enough. Well, not lucky, he wasn't performing or whatever. I was even the underdog in the second one, I think, and that was an easier fight. But in terms of feeling, it was probably the first one, you know.
Yeah, the Arias fight was the one that was kind of in my head.
Yeah, especially.
I remember watching it and thinking that it was the best you'd looked, and against probably
the best opponent,
like, to be fair to, and no disrespect to Conrad, because I also think he was a fabulous fighter, but you know what I mean, that's the one that definitely stuck out in my head. Is there anything you would do differently this time around, if you like, that you're kind of having this rebirth of your career, you're coming back, obviously you've got so much experience now, you've been at the highest levels, you've fought in a lot of high level matchups. What way would you navigate this differently to maybe how you have before?
What I'm doing now differently is I'm listening to my body. So I say, like, I never put out an excuse, I never sit down about excuses, but that kind of, the fight was talked about with Andrade, went into camp straight away after Arias, another camp delayed, and I was kind of burned out, you know, like mentally and just build up. I was kind of caught in the headlights. So experiencing that kind of having that experience, kind of, I listened to my body more. I remember I had my last bar, I don't know whether your man, you can ask that Edward Donovan fellow, was the last bar, he came for Southpaw, and I got 3 rounds and back went. So I used to train, I used to have back trouble and train with me back trouble, but little things like that where you just have to listen to your body, be clever. Like now, when I have injuries or niggles, I take a step back and don't lose 2 or 3 days, it's training. And you're actually not losing that, and you're just, you know what I mean, listening to the body a bit more clever now, and cleverer than me boxing. Like, even though I'm only back, I'm catching shots well, being more present. I used to just, you can kind of go through the motions with boxing, you know, when you're, like I was using I had a good run, I was fit, and then you're just kind of not even thinking in there. Now I'm thinking a bit more, like,
yeah.
So that's kind of what I bring. And I try to tell the lads, like, I'm older now, but I try to give them a bit of experience. Paul was sparring there, and Paul is more level, I think. He has everything, but sometimes he switches off and just has his hands up, and I used to do it all the time, just for 10 seconds, and gives easy shots away. Like, he does all the right things, then he gives shots away that he shouldn't, and I just had a yapper up there and said, not that this like has anything got to do with me, but just like if he stays switched on and even walks in and holds fellas, so little things, you learn things in the pro game that like I'll pass on to the lads.
Yeah, that's class.
Yeah,
and maybe that's another thing that can be motivating, maybe isn't the right word, but something that is a nice addition to your kind of camp life, that you've all of a sudden come back into a busy gym, and you're kind of like the elder statesman in a lot of ways, right? Like, you've kind of been there and seen it already, and you're still at a really high level, so it's not like you're just a sideline man giving a bit of advice, so you're still competing very well with these guys, the likes of Paul Ryan, who is a fantastic talent, and you're able to give that kind of bit of advice and chat and kind of encouragement to the lads. Is that an element of being back in camp and being back involved that maybe adds something for you?
Yeah, it's enjoyable. Like, I come in and you, like, maybe when I was doing my own thing and at that level I was coming in and training and switched off. Now I'm coming in and you'd see like sending worrying about opponents or something.
Yeah.
With boxing, I used to say, look, that happens to us all. Whether you stress about it or you don't stress about it, it's going to be the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, little things maybe that I can bring. And then I went up the level that they went up through small hall shows, selling tickets. They probably seen that they could get to world level when I wasn't a particularly great amateur, you know. So it is, I think I can bring something to the camp with the slaggins.
There's definitely,
it's good.
I said this before, if you walk in the doors of the Coliseum, you better fucking be ready.
Yeah.
You better be ready.
Mark
for it.
isn't here now, but yeah, no, it's good.
That's brilliant, man. So just to finish off, actually 2 things I want to ask you about. In the gym at the moment, high level gym, loads of good talent. Who should people watch out for from the gym?
Do you know what? There's 3 or 4. Like, I don't want to pick anyone out, but Tyrone's finished now. He doesn't count. Coming up your side, on up and coming in. Like,
it's
like,
probably a bit unfair of a question.
A bit unfair for the lads. Probably they're all top lads. Like, I'm sparring with Paul today, so he stands out to me. Little adjustments and he'll go. Like, he's elite level, you know. So are like 2 or 3 of the lads are. So I'm not picking anyone out, just sparring today.
Probably throw you under the bus a little bit with that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
So September 16th, you're back in the ring. You're looking forward to it. I imagine you're going to have a decent crowd in there in the RDS. Unbelievable to be back in Dublin. What can the viewers, what can the people who are going to come to the show, what can they expect from the show and from Luke Keeler?
Me, hopefully someone handy at the doctor. yeah, we're looking at an easy fight now. Look, a good night. There's a big music act planned for after it. There's a bar. There's 3 title fights so far. There's more again announced. You have the Irish heavyweight Thomas Carty, which would be massive. He brings a crowd. Great night of boxing in Dublin, which we are starved of. I know Katie had one back, but night of boxing. Paul Ryan's going to have a knockout, won't you, Paul? Paul's going to have a knockout. Yeah, but just a great night of boxing and a good buzz. They have a music act planned after. Then there's an after party in.
I saw you advertise.
Yeah, I was advertised. Yeah. And the sponsor I got to put behind the bar, so there'll be a few free drinks for yourself. Yeah, no problem. Say it to Johnny.
Don't have to tell me twice anyway.
Yeah, and it'll be good. It'll be good night of boxing, and just the start for McElhaney Promotions and Conlon down here, please God. So hopefully the crowd gets out, everyone has a good night, and we can go again, you know.
Absolutely. Luke, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much for talking to IrishBoxing.com. Gentlemen, thanks so much. Right?